Being happy is a thing. It is a real thing. And there are people who go through life and they have very little drama. They're actually happy and content with their life. Nothing is perfect. Not in this world, it isn't. But you do your best. But even with that, you being happy and content and living a softer life triggers people. There's a saying that misery loves company. Well, we're not going to sit there and keep company of somebody who is so miserable because they will project that onto you. And we're going to talk about that right now. Every day of our lives, we have to navigate through this world. And we meet people who are equally content. They're happy, and it is a reality to be happy in a terrible world. Through faith and your good relationships and just trying your best to be a good person, right? Then there are people who reject that. And what I try to do, the number one thing I've learned to do is set boundaries. When you make a decision, some people won't like it because they feel like it is too much or, why are you doing that? You shouldn't do that. Oh, this just doesn't, I don't do that. It doesn't work for me. They want to tear you down. And then what do you do? It's just natural instinct. What do? You start to explain and try to justify your decision. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to over explain and justify why you decided to do or not do something because you don't have to have their acceptance because all it is negativity and it's trying to make you feel bad. When you make a decision or if you say no, your no means no and you don't have to justify that. It is what it is and you should be able to move on. Don't let people dictate your happiness. And how I do that, I insist on having a soft mindset. Soft life has nothing to do with buying expensive things and going on trips and things. It is having as less drama and misery in your environment as possible. And it is something that can be. I try to be happy in my home life, in my lifestyle. And when people come at you and they don't understand where you're coming from, let them misunderstand. You don't have to spend all of your time justifying your life. You don't have to exhaust yourself and becoming more and more upset because when that happens, when you become more and more upset, you are giving them so much energy and they feel that you're on the same playing field now. Look, she's not who she is trying to be. Who's she trying to fool? I knew it. That's who she is. She's trying to bring that out of you. Please don't let that happen. Because you walk away feeling so horrible and feeling down and questioning yourself. Well, maybe they're right. No, they're not right. You don't have to explain why you are doing a certain thing. And if they don't believe that you're truly happy, let them not believe it. They're not allowing themselves to believe somebody can actually be happy in their life and content with their choices in life. That's them, not you. You don't have to spend a lot of time teaching people how to accept you being you. That is a waste of your time. You should just go ahead and move on and just be happy, girl. So detach from that negativity. If you have to cut people off or stay away, that is your choice to be happy. You have to protect that, okay? Because when you insist on trying to save somebody, or maybe I can change them because I want them to be happy like me, you can't do that. Because the next thing you know, you're going to be miserable and complaining all the time, just like they are. I'm not sitting here to say, happy people never have any problems. Of course you do, because you're imperfect. And look at the world that we're living in. But you can make your own environment a very peaceful one, even in a negative uh, world, because there's a lot going on, but there are a lot of happy people in this world. So you insist on being one of those. So other people's chaos, do not accept that as your own. You remain you. You keep your own happy place, your own happy mind intact because you will not adopt their misery. Please do not do that. And also, and this is something that I told myself, stop taking things so personally. When somebody is attacking you or coming at you every single time you talk to them and they're so negative, why do you do this? How can you do this? Trying to convince you that you're not a good person. Don't take that on. Don't take that personally because that has nothing to do with you. Think about it. There has to be something inside of a person that makes them pick up the phone, that makes them, when you see them in person, all they talk about is negativity or what you're doing wrong. Never what they're doing wrong, what you're doing wrong. So that's an internal battle. It has nothing to do with you. So please don't adopt that. This is something that I tell myself, and I'm sharing it with you because this is what this space should be about, encouraging each other, to just be the best we can be. And don't adopt that and don't take on and don't accept the negativity that someone is throwing towards you because it's not yours, it's theirs. So let that bounce off. You duck and dodge because don't let that hit you. It has nothing to do with you. It's all them. So instead, you want to accept people in your environment and friends and family who you bounce back that positivity, that encouragement. You walk away from that person feeling really good. You feel good about them and you feel good about yourself. Those are the kind of people that you want to be around. It is okay. You are not obligated to adopt somebody else's personality to make them feel equal, to make them feel better. No, because you're the one who's going to end up drowning. Sometimes when people are drowning and they jump in and try to save someone, they end up fighting for their life. That analogy is, I think, a good one because it's truly how it is. Sometimes you can help people to steer them right. Sometimes you can help people who are drowning. But sadly, a lot of times, the person who's jumping in to help ends up battered and hurt mentally and otherwise. So it's not your job to try to save people from being negative. All you can do is just set a good example and hope that they pay attention. So some key points that, I hope you can take away from this. One, it is not your job to fix other people's problems. Two, you have to set boundaries. Okay, when people cross the line, change the subject or step away. I have to go, but I'm so glad I was able to talk to you and I'm glad you're doing well, you're doing okay. I'm glad you know that I do have to go. You don't have to stay on that phone or you don't have to stay in their environment. You can dismiss yourself from it because it is you that you're talking about. Treat your body, respect your body, protect your mind. Okay. You know, you don't have to stay there and deal with that. Protect your own inner calm, your own mental health, period. Because I really hope that you guys glean something from that because it's really important. Social media, day to day life, there are people, their sole purpose is to make everybody else as miserable, to talk about miserable things, not to share happiness and positivity. I insist on being positive. I've told people like I'm positive on purpose, and they may think it's fake. And then once I started being that way, because I wasn't always positive, there's a lot of things that happened in my life that hurt me to the core, deaths and so forth. And I was depressed and I was miserable, and I did not even want to hear somebody who was fairly happy or positive. But then I made a shift. Just like 10, 12 years ago, I realized, you know what? I'm alive. I'm me, and it's okay to be me. And so I let God help me straighten out my mindset. I can't do anything about anyone else who's like negative and miserable. That's not me. And so I have to just be the best I can be. And I hope you do the same. So I want to thank you guys for sitting here with me these 2 minutes today. I really love it when you stop by and you share in, you comment and let me know your thoughts on these topics because it means a lot. And your beauty and your elegance has a lot to do with it because you can be the most elegant woman or classy man ever. But if your attitude and your mindset is garbage, to me, when I see you, I don't see beauty or elegance. So that can affect it because it shows in your eyes and in the way you carry yourself. So let's just try to, for 2026 and onward, let's just be as positive as we can and just be nice because that is contagious. Just like the negativity is contagious, the positivity and happiness and your soft manner, your soft life repels that negativity. And so let's remember that. And wherever you are in the world, you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, and evening. And we'll talk to you on the next one. You guys take care. Bye.